Well, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today, as I promised you, we're starting a grungy journal. I've done so much pretty lately with the stitching that I need some grunge in my life. So yesterday I had a delivery. We all recognise this branding, don't we? And it's a lovely, almost deli paper that you can't see through. So I'm going to open up this bag and I'm going to use this as my cover. Because just before Christmas, when I had that tidy up, I found that I'd already joined these two books to make a lap book. So it's already been set up for me, and I have got videos showing you how to do this. I've done these before. I will link one of them in the description box if you've not seen that. Basically, you just need to choose two books that are the same height. They don't necessarily have to be the same width. And then you measure the width of the two combined. So let's say they're 1 inch each, that comes to 2 inches. And then you basically cut some board that is 2 inches and you join it to both books. So you get this great long fold out. But what it actually does is, when it's together like that, it creates two sort of books in one. Okay, so without further ado, as they say, I've just found a needle there. See? Too much stitching. Let's move that over there. Right, so I'm just going to break the seal. It's obviously just a single line of glue. I trust everybody's happy, safe and well. Getting some good crafting time in. Okay, let's open up the bottom. And when you do this, it's an actually really good insight and lesson for yourself as to how these bags are made. I mean, I know a long time ago, Tracy Fox did actually do a video of how to make these gusseted bags. I think I may have done one as well, I don't know. But Tracy Fox was the one that I saw originally. But so having opened the bottom and opened the side, you can actually see that it's just a great long piece that's been folded. It's been folded there. It's been folded back on itself, exactly the same the other side. It's been glued down the middle, and then the bottom's been folded up. Okay. Now, we obviously want, I'm sorry about the noise, but you know, that's what paper does. We obviously want the print side against the print. Okay, print to print. Now this is, yeah, I know I'm off screen right this end, and there's not a lot I can do about that. It's just so huge. We got loads of overhang here, which is brilliant. And it's just about, look, it's just about the length of the bag, which is lovely. So all I'm going to do at this stage is cut off the two tab areas. So I'm going to take my ruler, any ruler will do. I'm using this metal one to give me a straight line. I'm lining it up with that straight bit there and with the crease because it's a little bit like a letter in that respect, you know, an envelope, not a letter. And I'm just tearing along now to pull off, whoops, pull off that flap. Okay, missed a little bit there. I can easily get the scissors on that. And then across the bottom, I'm going to take the whole of the fold. I know we've got plenty of height here. So, and as I said, this is going to, oh, that's not going to work, is it? I think I'm going to have to get the scissors on that. It's too narrow for me to tear. As I said the other day, we're going to be doing a grungy journal. You could just do one book if you want, or one cover. You don't need to do a lap book. And I just love a lap book. I love all the flips and flaps. And we're going to use as much recycling as we can. So I'm using things like this that have already been used in delivering to me. And I'm going to use scraps out of my scrap straws. Now that's not perfectly straight, but I'm not worried about that because that will all be hidden. Okay, just these areas where I got a bit of the glue didn't quite sit right. Okay, so I'm going to have to do it in sections so that you can see. Peel that label off, and I appreciate this end's probably off camera. So I'm going to lay it down, get it in the middle height wise. I know that's going to give me plenty, and then I'm going to glue my book. Now you can use good old-fashioned PVA for this. So I'm just going to squeeze my PVA on to my book cover. I'm going to take one of my child's spreaders. I always call them that. I don't know why, just because they remind me of, oh, I can't get it out now. Sorry if I'm jogging the camera. Just because they remind me of school, these little plastic things. They remind me of school, they remind me of the things kids have. So gluing right to the edges. Doesn't matter if you go over a little bit because we are going to be dragging the paper over. And just, as you see, scraping it down, spreading it out. I'm using plenty of glue. PVA is not an expensive glue, so it's not a problem. And B, we want a good adhesion. Okay. Okay. Once you spread it all out, just flop it over. It will slide around a bit while the glue thinks about drying. And then I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to carry on going. So we're going to go all the way, cover the whole thing. This, by the way, is clear PVA. It comes from Tesco's. I used to use the one from the Works. I didn't stop using it for any particular reason. It's just that I don't have a Works near me anymore. And I go to Tesco's every Friday to get the food shop. So just purely because it made my life easier. Run a little bit extra under there just to make sure, and flip your next section down. Okay. And now I'm going to do this one. Just keep going. So I've got no stories for you, I'm afraid. I haven't been anywhere, I haven't done anything. I don't mind that. I quite like my own space and peace and quiet, so I'm not complaining. It just means that for you guys it's a bit boring because there's nothing to share. There's no trips, or I fell off a dodgy chair, or cars where the handbrake was forgotten and it rolled down the hill. No stories at all. I have, however, got another grandchild birthday at the weekend, so we will be doing more cake. It's the time of year when we eat lots of cake in this house. Ah! Doesn't matter because obviously it's all got to be done. Okay, don't forget, give it a good press down. Now you can probably see a bit better because obviously it's in half. So yeah, lots of cake eating going on at the moment. What with the two grandchildren's birthdays and my daughter's. Oh dear, I'll tell you what, we're not very good in this family really. All of the grandchildren and my two daughters' birthdays are all within a month. How about that? We really didn't plan that very well, did we? Plus of course our wedding anniversary as well. So, well, I say a month, actually it's 6 weeks, but it's absolutely crazy. Okay, so we've done that bit. So just flip the next bit over. And now, obviously you can lift this one up and come in there. Right, I haven't done this edge yet. I'm sorry if you can hear hubby on the phone. I think you know by now that we are both at home all day. Both work from home, and occasionally phone calls do happen while I'm mid-film. Fortunately there's no copyright or anything, so it doesn't affect what I'm doing on YouTube. No state secrets or anything being discovered. Excuse me. So I'm super excited because the third Roxy's Challenge prompt will be out tomorrow. So we'll find out what we're doing next. Okay, there you go. So that's that. Flip that over. If I stand it up again, you can see it's gone right to the edge with a bit of extra. Okay, right, so now I'm actually going to turn it over and make sure it's pressed home. Now I'm not worried about this screwed up texture look. In fact, to be honest, with a grungy journal it's nice to have. If it bothers you, then obviously you can take a bone folder or something similar and I've just realised, how stupid was that? I've just realised there's no glue on this piece. So if something like that happens, I'm going to pick it up and I'm just going to squirt glue inside that gap, and then I'm going to lay it back down and spread the glue down the line. Got a bit of something stuck to that. Okay, that's because I'm talking to you lovely people. I'm not overly concentrating on what I'm doing, am I? Okay, so just using my hand to give it a good spread out. And now I'm just gonna, no boo, Mummy's doing a video, but you be quiet please. And I'm just gonna stand it up and shoot a little bit of glue into that side. Like that. Only doing that because I was busy talking to you and I forgot to glue this bit. You obviously will be paying much more attention and won't need to do that. Okay, so this is all now secured. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over. Excuse me. And now we're going to bring the sides and the top and the bottom in. So I'm going to bring that side in first. I do apologise, I'll be coughing in the background. We've both been a little bit on the, I wouldn't say poorly as such, because I always think poorly is quite ill. We've just both developed these ridiculous coughs for some reason. Hasn't really developed into a cold or anything. Hasn't stopped us functioning in any shape, form or description. It's just been this ridiculous cough. Okay, that's that edge. Now we'll fold it all over and up again. And we can do this edge. And I'm going to set it to one side once we've done this to dry, and we can work on some nice grungy papers. And again, I'm not worried about these edges because obviously we'll have decorative paper running through the middle. Okay, so now we need to bring the bottom up and the top down. So let's first of all bring the bottom up. So bring it up like so, giving it a little fold as I bring it up. And you have obviously got we've obviously got a very square edge here. You don't really want that. So what I would suggest is if you press it like that and bring it back over, you'll get that lovely mitered corner. Okay, you can take the excess out if you want. I'm not going to worry, I'm going to leave it. Whoops, glue bubbles coming out of my bottle, which is very interesting. And this PVA, I've told you many times before, it will give you a lovely firm finish. Just adds strength all the time. Anyway. Okay, now open it up. And see? Glue bubbles, and then I'm just gonna squirt all the way along. Okay, and again, just run your finger press is strong enough over there, and on this one there's the end of your book. Yeah, right, glue in here. remember what I said about this corner. Just press it and then it will come back on itself. I'm pushing it up as I press down. And there is our bottom done. So then we'll turn it round, do exactly the same to the top. You'll notice there's some area here where there's some bleed from the book cover. Doesn't matter, it's a grungy journal. This is what we're doing. So, bring this up, like so. And then when you bring it back, you'll have your mitered corner. Do it beforehand if you want. Doesn't really make much difference. Press that in. And press that firmly down. Okay. And then we have covered all of our book cover, or our books. This is our cover, isn't it? I'll just spread that about. And then what you need to do is you need to go in Hunt. If you haven't already prepared a box or a pile, you need to go in Hunt of your scraps or your junk mail or whatever it is that you are going to be using. To make this junk journal, this grungy junk journal. Okay, I'm going to set that aside so that it's got plenty of time to dry. And there it is. Once we get some ink and some bits and pieces on here, that is going to be beautiful. So set that aside, let that dry, and now let's have a look in our junk box. So that's not junk. I've got jelly pages, I've got an odd bit of embossed card, odd bits of paper, there's an old chemist bag, more packaging papers, and more of our jelly papers. So I'm going to start, and the easiest way, I think, if you've never done this before and you're not sure what you want to do, is take one of the inserts that you have taken out of the covers. Take the insert and start decorating up the pages. You can where am I? You can use bits of old coffee dyed paper. You can use your coffee dyed pages, all bits and pieces, whatever, yeah, that you want to use for this grungy journal. So I'm going to start by putting out a couple of book pages. Let's do 3. And because I've put them in my box ready to use, I know that I want to use some modelling paste. You don't have to. And I'm using blue, copper and black. These are designed to be my colours. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get a palette knife. Now, if you haven't got a palette knife, it's not a problem. You can actually use the end of a bendy ruler. Okay, you could even use your bone folder. Okay, but I'm going to start by adding modelling paste through a stencil. Actually, I don't want to do that. I always do that. This is what I want to do. So I'm going to open it up. This is quite a soft one. And I'm going to come through. And then I'm going to pick it up, turn it round and come through the bottom. That was from the top. This is from the bottom. Like that. And that's going to give me pages to work on tomorrow, because obviously that needs to dry. I'm going to do another one. Okay, pick it up, turn it round. It's making a lovely mess of my desk, as you can probably see. A bit more there. And pick it up. Okay, and again set that aside to dry. Now last one, because I do like to work in threes. You do need to make sure that you wash your equipment quickly, because this stuff sets hard and you want to make sure that you're not ruining your stencil or your palette knife by leaving it on there. Or in this case, look at the state of my desk. Okay, so that's creating a background for us. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put you on pause so I can clean my desk, and then we'll be back for the next part. Okay, I'm back. Well, obviously a sensible person would have put a protective layer down, wouldn't they, so that that didn't happen. But hey ho, you are watching me. Right, so now I'm going to dig through and have a look at my jelly pages. Now, these were basically done early one morning, trying to create winter skies. And obviously that's that stencil again. I don't want to lose them, so they're great to go in a junk journal that is grungy. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to introduce some, I'm going to have it that way around, I think. I want to introduce some of this copper paint. So I'm just going to put a little blob there, and I'm still working with my palette knife, and I'm just going to drag like this. Okay, I can now see beautiful shimmer, but I can see the patterns that are running underneath. Okay, and again I'm going to set that to one side to dry. Now this one is very, very much lighter So I feel like I can take the copper through here, but I can also take some navy black as well. Okay. I feel like I want, oh, there we go. Yes, like that. Okay, so now I'm going to clean this off. And all we're really doing now is we are creating papers that we can use. These are obviously not finished, well, I say obviously, they could be finished pages. I won't be using them as finished pages. I will be working with them. Look at that. I just think that is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, close off my navy blue, bring in a little bit of black, and I feel like the black needs to be around here. I need a new black, I haven't got much left. That'll do, I think. Actually, do you know what? I like it as a spot. So let's do another one down here. That was an accident that has worked. Oh, look, we've got a hole in that one. So there you go, just by playing. This one I need full paint again. There we go. Perfect. Absolutely love it. Okay, so close all them up. Get rid of that. And now, obviously, they're drying as well. I've got papers drying all over my floor, don't laugh. Okay, and now we've got some of these jelly prints that I did on tissue paper. So still jelly prints, and these are on tissue paper. Okay, that's not going to work for me. This one is 100% going to work, so I'm going to use that one, and I'm definitely going to use that one and that one. So it's interesting that on the tissue paper, the ones that I feel are going to work for me are these ones that have got the navy blue very prominent. So I'm now going to do something with a stamp or two. So what have I done with them? I just had stamps here. There we go. So these are my All and Create stamps. Here's this one, which is number 447, and it's the Poppy postcard. Love this one. And then this one, that's interesting. This one doesn't appear to have a number on it. This is the Lynn's Scribbled Words stamp set, set 1 by Lynn Moncrief. Okay, so I did also bring along coloured inks that would go with my coloured paints. So I've got Spiced Marmalade, I've got Ocean Blue. Now this one is obviously a range of Tim Holtz, and that is the ink. This is Harmony Spectrum Noir, quick dry dyed ink, and this is Ocean Blue. And then this one again is a Tim Holtz Ranger, and this is the Ground Espresso Oxide. Okay, so I think we're going to start on this very darkest of dark blues, and I've used it, it goes up that way, with a Tim Holtz letter stamp, if you can see. And I'm going to use this Poppy stamp. And I'm going to use it in the spiced marmalade. So here we go. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of tapping. Try and make sure that it's all got ink on. We don't want a dodgy stamp if we can help it. Right. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going right up the centre there. So holding and pressing. Giving a few minutes for the ink to transfer. And there you go, we've got our orangey gold poppy. Okay, I'm gonna pull that off. I'm going in for the words now, and because we've got these words, I want something a bit different looking. They're not words, are they? They're letters, but you know what I mean. So I'm using the circle that's in this one. And I'm going to use the ground espresso in here. I could use black because obviously we use black paint, but I like the idea of having the ground espresso. And I'm going on top there. This is a nice juicy stamp because it's a fairly new one. So lots of ink in there. Okay, now there's excess ink on here, so I'm going to put it on this book page and get rid of that there. In fact, I can probably, yeah, 3, not quite 4 out of that on that pad. Okay, now I'm happy with this. So that is going to set aside ready for use. Give it a little chance to dry off. Now, what have we got on this one? So on this one we've got gold, so I think I'm going to bring in some black ink for this one, and we've got no lettering, so I'm going to use the very big lettering here. This is the big patch. There's no direction on this page, so it doesn't matter which way that I stamp. Lots of tapping. And I think we want to go to one side. I think I want to go there. And this is just tissue paper, but it does mean that once it goes into our journal, it's going to be obviously slightly, it's not really see-through, but it's going to be slightly translucent, which is going to add some extra interest to the pages that we've got. Yeah, see, I had trouble with this one last time, didn't I? I'm wondering if it's that archival ink pad's too dry now. Let's try our really meaty espresso and see what happens. Because we can now see there's definitely a ton of ink on that. Let's pop that down and see what happens. I might need to get a new black ink pad, mightn't I? Yeah, we need a new black ink pad, Claire. Look. But actually, although I wasn't going to use the brown does look really good with that copper paint on this tissue paper. Okay, so I'm going to do another one. I'm going to use this one that's got the square edges around it. Now I'm going to have to check the direction now that we've got one on here. So this is the top and this is the bottom on that writing. And yeah, this is the same. I've got it the right way round. So, new black ink pad, Claire. That's what you need. Right, and then that is going to go there. Perfect. That's my second tissue paper page. Okay, last one was this blue one. And then I will leave you to get yourself ready or get on with your day, whatever it may be. Now this one, I'm reverting back to the poppy because the numbers have already got, you know, quite a lot to do with lettering. So I'm going to find my orange. I'm going to try and do a shadow this time. So I'm going to find my orange. See if we can't get a shadow going. So we've stamped it all. We're going to go right high to the top. Like that. I'm going to put the orange away, bring back my espresso. Okay. Excuse me. And now I'm going to come down to the bottom of that poppy head and then over a little bit. Like so. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. Oops, on the other side. State of me, look, I'm filthy. Oh well, all in the name of fun, as they say. And now to the bottom of that again and over to there. Like so. Clean that off a little bit. So there is the start of our grungy journal. We've got our 3 tissue paper pages, like so. We've got our book covered. Yeah, that's all covered. And then we've got our other pages that are drying down here on the floor. I'm not going to pick up the ones that have got the modelling paste on. That would just be ridiculous. So there you go. There's a really, really good start. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found some joy and inspiration. And good luck with your grungy crafting. And remember, it's only paint and paper. You can't go wrong. Stay safe.